Good morning, Mr. Tony.
Good morning, Chiamaka.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. It's always excited to be back here, talk business. And you listeners, it's always a pleasure to be with you, and I enjoy you to join us today.
Yes, it's going to be an amazing time on the show today, so ensure you keep it locked here on Urban Radio 94.5 FM. So you said today that we are going to be dishing out 20 common terms used in global businesses and their definition for learning purposes. So let you start before I join you.
Okay, so these are terms that people use all the time, right? And so a lot of people don't know what they mean. So I really thought it would be nice today to visit some of these terms. Actually, from time to time, we will be visiting some of these business terms to make sure that our listeners know what they are. And a lot of times I use some of these terms on radio, and I realize that people may not really know what you're talking about. So we're giving you the business dictionary, and today we're going to give you two, right? So number one on my list is outsourcing. We actually have treated outsourcing on this show.
We've used it several
number of times. That's right. So outsourcing is the practice of contracting out certain business functions, or processes to external third-party providers, often to reduce cost, improve efficiency, or access specialized skills, right? And we have said on this show that you can outsource production, you can outsource technical services, you can outsource basically everything in business. And like this definition says, it saves you cost and it saves you a lot of time, right? And the next one is branding. People hear branding all the time, but I guarantee that a lot of people really don't know what branding is. So the definition right here is branding involves creating and promoting a unique image and identity for a product, service, or company. It includes elements such as logos, slogans, and messaging to distinguish it from competitors, right? So you hear that this is somebody's brand, this is a brand, and this, what I just reeled out now, is what branding entails, right? Now, mergers. Now, this is a great one, right? Mergers are usually they usually come into play when a company isn't doing so well, right? And they know another company that plays in the same field as them, and then they decide to merge. That is, bring two or three or more companies together, to actually improve quality and improve, services, right? So here, mergers occur when two or more companies combine to form a single entity. This can be done, for various reasons, including expanding market share, achieving synergies, or gaining a competitive advantage. So that's merger for you. Number 4 is acquisition. Mergers and acquisitions almost always go together, and so acquisitions involve one company purchasing another, either by buying a controlling stake or acquiring all its assets, right? The goal is often to gain access to new market technologies or talent. Now, one company comes to mind, right? Facebook acquired WhatsApp and acquired Instagram, and they paid billions of dollars for these, right? And so today it's a global communication giant, and that's simply because it acquired some of the services, some of the some of the professionals and potential of these other businesses, right?
Okay, so what's the difference between merger and acquisition?
Okay, so a merger is when two or more companies decide to come together, put their forces and their abilities together to build a bigger and more productive company. But acquisition is when somebody is paying money to acquire a company. So you own company A.
So you're taking a total control of that company.
Yeah. So you own company A, I own company B. So I decide to pay you a certain amount of money that you're asking for me to acquire a company. That means you cease to make important decisions in that business. It becomes mine. So that's acquisition, right?
All right, that's very clear. Go ahead.
Right. So the next one is budget. A budget is a financial plan that outlines an organization's expected revenues, expenses, and overall financial goals for a specific period. It serves as a roadmap for financial decision making and resource allocation, right? So that's budget. Then supply chain. A lot of people hear about supply chains, but I can guarantee that a lot of people don't know what supply chain is, right? So this is a network of organizations, processes, and activities involved in the production and distribution of goods and services, from the suppliers to the end customers, and that's supply chain for you. Diversification, this one is very good. I've used this on this show many times. You need to diversify your business. You need to create multiple streams of income.
Just the way Nigeria needs to diversify
its
its
economy.
source of making
That's
money.
right. That's
Yes.
right. So diversification involves expanding a company's business activities into new products, services, or markets to reduce risk and improve overall performance. So I love the idea of diversification in business, right? So I could own a restaurant right now and then still own a farm, right? And then own a clothing company. And the beautiful thing is that you can actually own different companies that support each other. So I could own a farm that supports my restaurant, business. But the important thing is to diversify so that you can have multiple streams, of income, right? Then e-commerce is another one that we've talked about a million times on this show. So electronic commerce refers to buying and selling goods and services over the internet, involving online transactions and digital platforms, right? And number 9 is stakeholder. A stakeholder is an individual or group with an interest or concern in the success or failure of a business, including employees, customers, investors, and the community. So you hear in government they say you're a stakeholder. That means you have
part of an important place.
That's
in
right.
that
You're a part and
particular
parcel
thing.
of what goes on, right? Now, the last one on my list before I hand over to you, Chiamaka, is foreign exchange, right? That's what we call Forex. Forex refers to the global marketplace for trading national currencies against one another. It plays a crucial role in international trade and investment. And that's my 10. Chiamaka, I hand over to you.
Okay, so I have the remaining 10, and the first one here is globalization. What do we mean by globalization? Globalization is the process of increased interconnectedness and interdependence among countries, economies, and cultures, often facilitated by advances in technology and communication. The next one is strategic alliances. Strategic alliances are cooperative agreements between two or more companies to pursue shared objectives, such as entering a new market or developing a new product. We have tariff here, which is also a common word out there. A tariff is a tax imposed on imported or exported goods to regulate trade and protect domestic industries. So next time you hear a tariff out there, do not start fidgeting or wondering what is this tariff. So it's simply a tax imposed on imported or exported goods. And another one here is a SWOT analysis.
Beautiful, I love
SWOT
that one.
analysis, yes. We actually taught this one in secondary school. Even still, at higher institution, was your SWOT. So SWOT analysis involves evaluating a business strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats to inform strategic decision making.
I
think when it comes to doing your feasibility study, at the beginning stage of planning out and trying to conceptualize what your business should be all about, this SWOT usually comes in very handy.
SWOT analysis is very, very important in business, actually. I love that one.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the next one is franchise. A franchise is a business model where an individual or entity pays for the right to operate a business using the brand and product and processes of another business. So there are so many foreign brands in Nigeria today that some people think, it's the real owners of those foreign brands that are operating it in Nigeria. No, it's not it. These are persons that bought the name of that brand and they are now operating under that same name. So that's what franchise is all about.
Yeah, but there are a few Nigerian brands also that operate under the franchise model. I actually saw one online yesterday, which is an establishment that fries yam.
Oh.
Can I give you the name of the establishment?
I will.
The Nation. It's a Lagos brand.
Wow, that's very impressive.
Yeah, very educated guy. He decided to start a yam establishment, right? And so what they do is simply fry yam. And now they're selling their franchise, and they're expanding all across Lagos, all across Nigeria, and even beyond Nigeria, So that's a good one.
Yeah, that's
Was that the last one you had?
No, it's not the last one.
Okay.
And we have other popular brands here in Coal City. Let me give this Coal City as an example.
Yeah.
That operate on franchise, but let's just forget about mentioning the names and going into details. So the next one is corporate social responsibility, in short, CSR. So CSR is a business approach that integrates social and environmental considerations into a company's operations and interactions with stakeholders. stakeholders. Do you have something you want to add to this one, the CSR?
Yeah, well, that one is, for companies is absolutely very important. Now, companies that take their corporate social responsibilities seriously, become stronger, because what that proves is that you care about the community, you care about the people that you serve. Now, you also let the government know that you are a partner. And so whenever they want to, do anything that has to do with the community, they can always rely on you. That also can attract some benefits like tax, some tax rebates and all of that, because if you're a company that always gives back to the community by way of scholarships, or you build roads, or, you do, events that helps the community, actually governments actually take you seriously, and sometimes you can derive some benefits just by doing that.
Okay, moving on. The next one is market segmentation. Market segmentation involves dividing a market into distinct groups based on specific characteristics or behaviors to tailor product and marketing strategies. Intellectual property.
Good one.
Intellectual property refers to creations of the mind, such as inventions, trademarks, and patents protected by law to encourage innovation and creativity. As a business person or even a creative out there, just make sure that you do not fall short of this.
That's right.
Because you're going to face the law squarely. This is a serious offense, so you need to know about intellectual property.
Yeah, I want to say something about that. Now, intellectual property, copywriting, and a whole lot of other stuff, stuff similar, are very important in business, right? Now, a lot of you are writers, or a lot of you are inventors. Now, if you're an inventor, it is very important that you register a patent on your inventions. What that means is that you're protected and no other company can steal that and go make money off of it, right? So it's very important that you register a patent. Intellectual property actually has to do with, a product of your brainchild, a product of your brain and your intelligence and your creativity. Now, being respected by other people. So it's absolutely very important that you, as a business person, as a creative, that you consider copyright, you consider trademarks, then you consider patents, right?
Yes.
Because these are actually created in business to ensure that you are protected, you and your products are protected in the marketplace.
Okay, the next is emerging markets. Emerging markets are economies in the process of rapid industrialization and experiencing significant growth, often characterized by developing infrastructure and expanding consumer markets. And the last one to make it a 20 is benchmarking.
Yeah.
Benchmarking is the process of comparing a company's performance, a product, or processes with those of industry leaders or competitors to identify areas for improvement.
Or
I'm talking about benchmarking.
Okay,
yes.
no. In business is a day-to-day thing, actually. So it's a principle in business that helps businesses, especially in the area of pricing. So that's a great one, Chimaka.
Yeah. So those are, at least we'll give you 20 common terms in global business and their definition just for your learning purposes. Now it's time for us to move to the second part of what we started. The second part is opening up the phone lines for you to call in. So, Mr. Tony, talking about problems in businesses, what are the common problems that people are likely to experience, while running a business?
Okay, number one would be a lack of experience, actually. Remember, I have said a number of times on this show that most businesses die before they turn 1 year, right? And there are a number of reasons for this, and one of those would be that a lot of people who start businesses are not business managers. They didn't study it in school. They don't have business management skills. They just dabbled into it. And really, you don't have to have a degree to go into business, but at least you have to acquire some level of competence. I recommend that. And that's why really, remember there was a study that talked about Alaba International Market in Lagos being the largest business incubation in the world. It's talking about the business incubation in Alaba,
yes,
being the largest in the world. And the simple process they operate there is, young men are taken on by their masters, and this young men serve their masters for a period of between 5 to 7 years, acquiring all the skills in running that business, and eventually get some kind of funding to go set up their own business.